And we are live once again. It's your boy Philly Bandilly back with another video talking about the Manchester United game tonight where they take on Everton at Old Trafford. It's going to be a very good game. In this video, I'll be looking through what teams are going to be selected for either side, the formations they'll run, the sort of game that they're probably going to try and impose, and what I believe the score will be when it comes to full time. So, to start with, I will be talking about Manchester United starting lineup. Now, for today, I believe that it's a tricky one against Everton, actually, because Everton, whereas their results may not have been outstanding, maybe the wrong thing to say. Where they lost against Newcastle recently, and then drew against Leicester. In a game where Leicester had just lost Jamie Vardy, and they were struggling to do anything in the game. So they've dropped off a few points where they probably expected to pick it up. But other than that, there's a loss to West Ham in there. But their recent form is pretty consistent, and this is it's a solid test for United. So I feel as though it's a game where we need to match the energy in the midfield, like how Everton are set up. So, I mean, I'm just getting up Everton's last couple of games and looking at what the lineups are, just so I can try and get an understanding of how they line up. Right, so they're quite similar to United in the fact that they line up in a 4-2-3-1. Doucouré being the engine in the midfield, and then Andre Gomez being the battler. It's a bit like Doucouré is like a much bigger version of Fred in the way that he plays the game in the midfield, and then McTominay's if you were going to compare the two holding midfielders, you'd say Fred was comparable to Doucouré, and then McTominay was comparable to Gomez. But yeah, so going into this game, I believe Man U will line up in a 4-2-3-1. De Gea and net. I think we need to get Eric Bailly back into the team, because I feel as though the last couple of games, before the Southampton game, we looked really shaky at the back. And even in the Southampton game, we looked shaky at the back. We didn't look great. It's just we were so good offensively that it covered up for the defensive issues that there were in that game against Southampton. One thing, obviously, the goal that was ruled out for them. But, so De Gea and net, Bailly, Maguire as the centre backs. With the game against West Ham in the FA Cup, I believe Tellez will be starting that one. So I think Luke Shaw will start tonight. And then Wan-Bissaka at right back. Two holding midfielders, I believe, should be Fred and McTominay. We need the workers in the team for this one, because, like I said, Everton are a high-energy team who, if we allow them to overrun us in the midfield, it'll cause a lot of complications for us defensively. And I feel as though with Fred and McTominay playing, because of that, Bailly does need to be in the side, because the pair of them aren't the greatest in terms of defensive positioning, but they've got the energy to keep going in the game, which is what we need. Whereas if we were playing someone like Matic, you could maybe have more of an argument to say Lindelof should be starting. But for me, Bailly should be starting there, just because he's got the speed to be able to keep up with other attackers in case there is a bit of positioning mistakes made from either Fred or McTominay. So, and then the three behind the striker, I will put left Rashford, on the right Greenwood, down the middle Bruno Fernandes, and then up front I want Martial to start this game. I would like Martial to start this game. I don't have any concern with Cavani starting because he gives us the focal point that's needed in the game. But however, with Martial getting them 2 goals against Southampton, I feel as though it will be a good chance for him to get a start and try and get a goal in a game where the goal will mean a lot to the team, which could help a lot with his confidence. He's found the back of the net twice last game, so I feel as though if he starts today, he can make it. He can make a difference. But even if Cavani starts and then Martial comes on later in the game, that won't concern me too much. I like the attacking options that Man United have at present right now. It's really good. So looking at the way Everton lined up in their last game, is Pickford injured? And like this. No, not Pickford removals. Allen and Pickford are injured. So that'll explain why Gomez and Doucouré are playing there and Allen isn't involved. So I think I believe that Everton will line up the way they have been in the last few games, which is with that 4-2-3-1. So I believe it'll be is it Olsen, the keeper, yeah. The keeper Olsen and nets for Everton. And then the defenders will be a combination of Digne, Holgate, Mina, and Godfrey. That seems to be that's been their go-to for the majority of the season when it comes to the defensive lineup. Midfielders, so you got Doucouré and Gomez holding again. I see Richarlison playing on the left. On the right, I see. Sorry, I'm taking my time with this. I didn't properly study them, being honest. On the right, I see Iwobi or Sigurdsson playing maybe, and then Rodriguez starting as the calm, and then Dominic Calvert-Lewin up top. Well, we got there eventually. But yeah, that's how I see the teams lining up. With Everton, they're a team that, well, they've got the players who have got the ability to keep a hold of the ball, but in the last game they didn't do that so much, and that was against Leeds, which I found quite surprising, because Leeds, I feel, are quite an easy team to break down. So I found it quite shocking. And then when we look again at Everton's form, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins in the last 8 games, which is pretty good. And it's going to be tough competition for Man United, who obviously have just got their first win in a few games in the last game against Southampton. So what Man United, I feel as though, need to do is similar to how we picked the spaces that there were in the game against Southampton. Part of that was down to the fact that they went down to 10 men so early on. However, for United to be successful in this game, we need to pressurise Everton in the manner in which we pressured Southampton. Whenever Man United didn't have the ball last game, they constantly pressed and forced errors out of Southampton. And every time Man United were pressing, it felt like they were going to nick the ball and score. And I want the exact same sort of energy levels tonight, because 11 against 10. Yeah, you have done well to pick the holes in the side of the opposition. However, there won't be no red card in the first minute of this game. This is going to be a real test, and this is where Man United sort of start answering the real critics about whether or not they can't keep up the pace with City to compete for this title. Obviously, they've got a big game tomorrow against Liverpool, which I'm actually hoping Liverpool win. I can't believe I'm saying that, but now I've just said it. Yeah, I hope Liverpool win just for the sake of Man City not being able to establish that big gap on Man United. A draw I would 100% take a draw. 1 point for each team means neither team's really properly galvanised by that. Maybe City will take courage from that. But yeah, United need a big performance tonight to keep the pressure on City. And I believe that Man United will win this game 3-1. I think 3-1 will be the score. It needs to be another game where we showcase that we can dominate the game. We need, obviously, the ball needs to keep getting fed. It needs to keep getting fed. Keep being fed, sorry, to Bruno Fernandes, who is an exceptional creator of goals, scorer of goals. If you get the ball to him, he'll make something happen. So as long as Bruno can keep running in between the midfielders and the defenders, in between the Doucouré and your Jerry Mina, then I think we can get a lot of success in this game, especially if Martial is up and running now after that last game, then we could definitely profit from that. However, if Cavani does end up starting, then his movement itself creates a lot of chances in the game. So either way, I am confident with this one. I've been proven wrong in the past before. I thought the last game was going to be tight. I was proven very wrong again. But yeah, that's how I believe it's going to go. So it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be an exciting game. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be back later on with a reaction to the team sheet news that comes out of both camps. Reacting and giving my opinion on what it means for either team going into the game. But until just after 7 o'clock, which is when I'll be going live, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But until then, until I see you later on, take care.